Good day, dear students. We are starting the first class of literary criticism, and this is your S6, that is sixth semester classes. In literary criticism, you have teachers dealing with the different sections, and for my part, I'll be dealing with Indian aesthetics. And it is Indian aesthetic that we'll be dealing with in my class. Okay, so we have here something called the Dressa theory or the theory of Dressa. So this theory, as you have seen, is all about Dressa, and it is an ancient Sanskrit literary theory of aesthetics. So, rasa is actually an aesthetic emotion, and rasa, as you all know, you have heard of. Um, you know that rasa is of 9 types, and we have come across that in films and even in everyone there is a reference to rasa, and navarasa is something that you are all familiar with. And it is the presence of this theory of rasa that we are dealing with in this particular chapter. It is actually something that is connected to Sanskrit. And in Sanskrit, as you know, that Sanskrit is an ancient language, and they have poems first in that language, and even the drama was written in poetry or in the verse form. So here you find that along with the creating of poems and plays, they were also literary critics whom we call as the aestheticians. Aesthetics is the beauty or the beauty in art and literature. So the beauty in art and literature is in a way enhanced by the rasa that is there. So the theory of rasa deals with the beauty in art and literature. For the first time, it was introduced by the aesthetician Abhinavagupta in his commentary on Bharadas Natya Shastra. You have heard of Bharada Muni who had written the Natya Shastra. At least you must have been familiar with that Natya Shastra. And here you find that he is speaking of the 9 rasas or the aesthetic experience and the respective sthayi bhavas, that is, the emotions that produce them. The aesthetic experience is on the one side, the rasas, and the bhavas, sthayi bhavas, the emotions that produce them. Like, for example, you have Shringara. Shringara creates the sthayi bhava, radi or love. There is hasya, hasa or humor. There is karuna, that is karuna rasa, which creates shoga or compassion. There is raudra, krodha or wrath. There is vira, which is ulsaha or heroism. The sixth rasa is bhayanaga, which creates bhaya or terror. Bibelsa creates jugupsa or disgust. Adbhuta creates vismaya or wonder. Shantarasa is the one that creates nirveda or peace. So here you have all the 9 rasas listed and the corresponding emotions produced by the rasa is put in brackets in Sanskrit, also in English, for your information and for your better understanding. And when you go through this, you have come across these at least once or twice, or maybe sometime in your lifetime, either through films. I'm taking the example of the films because I'm sure that you are not much familiar with the other genre of literature. So this is why this reference to the films now. So Sringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanaga, Bibhatsa, Adbhuta, Shanta are the 9 rasas. And it is better that you learn these 9 rasas in order. because that will help you to understand the theory of Rasa in depth. Okay. So, this theory of Rasa has come to be accepted as the ultimate gospel truth in literary criticism. So, without this Rasa theory, there is nothing more to be said about literary criticism in Sanskrit. At the same time, this Rasa or the theory of Rasa is applicable to the poems produced by the writers of the Western world also, anywhere in the world. Okay, this theory of Rasa is applicable. What is Bharadas' maxim? We know that Abhinavagupta was commenting on Bharadas' Natyashastra, and Natyashastra is a beautiful work of how an actor should behave and so on. So much of instructions. And Bharadas' maxim is this: Vibhava Anubhava Vyabhijari Samyogad Rasa Nispade. This is actually a Sanskrit sloga, but we have written it in English for you to understand. The C is written in Sanskrit translation of that word. Sanskrit word is always pronounced as ch. So you find here Vibhavanubhava Vyabhijari Samyogad Rasa Nispade. This is the maxim, Bharadas maxim. It is based on that Abhinavagupta starts dealing with the rasa theory. The translation of this, that is Vibhava Anubhava Vibhijari Samyogad Rasa Nispade, means rasa is accomplished as a result of the conjunction of Vibhava Anubhava and Vibhijari Bhava. Rasa is accomplished as a result of the conjunction of Vibhava Anubhava and Vibhijari Bhava. What is Vibhava? Let's see what these are. What is Vibhava, what is Anubhava, and what is Vibhijari Bhava? Vibhava is the objective condition producing the emotion. In order to produce rasa, you need to have Vibhava, that is the objective condition. We need to have an objective condition. And this Vibhava is of two kinds. One is Alambana and the other is Uddibana. Alambana and Uddibana. What is Alambana? Let's see. Alambana Vibhava means person or persons with reference to whom the emotion is manifested. What is Uddibana? It is the circumstances that have excited the emotion. There is a perfect example for this. The lovers meeting and a young man and a young girl. Of course, the persons, they are the Alambana Vibhava, these persons. And it is to whom the emotion is manifested. It is in them that you find the love that is there. Uddibana Vibhava means circumstances that have excited the emotion. The circumstances, the night, there is a moonlit night, and a young girl is out, and the young man is there, and they meet each other, and finally, you find there is that rasa created in their meeting. Anubhava means bodily expression by which the emotion is expressed, like the glances of the young lady, and which is so full of the invitation, and the expression on the face of the young man. All these are the Anubhava. All these come under the bodily expression, and they are called the Anubhava. Then what do you mean by the Vyabhijari Bhava? Vyabhijari means series of diverse emotions that feed the dominant emotion. Suppose the girl is in love and she is waiting for her lover to come. And before he comes, a series of thoughts pass through her mind. Maybe he is late because he must have been talking to some other girl. Why is he late? Maybe somebody knew of his meeting with her, and maybe they must have tried to stop her. All these emotions pass through the mind of the girl who is waiting. And these series of emotions that feed the dominant emotion, because she is eagerly waiting for the lover to come to her. and it feeds on the dominant emotion, so that when he comes, she is so relieved, she is so happy, and these diverse emotions add to the dominant emotion, that is Sringara or love. So this dominant diverse emotions that feed the dominant emotion we call as Vyabhijari Bhava. Okay. Then what is meant by Sthayi Bhava? Sthayi Bhava is the dominant emotion, and they determine the internal temperaments of the characters, internal temperaments of the persons. Or suppose you are having a rasa and the dominant emotion is Sringara, the dominant emotion of Sringara is love, and that dominant emotion is there, and because of this, the persons feel and behave in such a manner that the people who view them will understand that they are in love, or the person is in love. So the Sthai Bhava, or the dominant emotion, is again another factor of creating rasa. Abhinavagupta started the discussion of rasa in his commentary on Bharadas' Maxim on rasa, Vibhava Anubhava, Vibhajari Samyogad, Rasa Nispade. So he just took this and started on two words, Samyoga and Rasa Nispade. Vyabhijari Samyoga, Rasa Nispade. Samyoga means conjunction. Rasa Nispade, manifestation of rasa or compilation of rasa. So this rasa is possible when you have so many other things, Vibhava, Anubhava, and Vyabhijari Bhava coming together and close together, coming almost together, and then rasa is created. Manifestation of rasa or compilation of rasa is created. So he speaks about the two words, samyoga, which is called conjunction. Rasa nispade means manifestation of rasa or compilation of rasa, how rasa is created. And we have been going through the different aspects of rasa and the nine rasas and how rasa is created. And when you have so many such and such things, you have rasa. Otherwise, it is not called a rasa. But here, one of the foremost things that you will have to remember when you start studying the theory of rasa is this, and that is, no emotion is called rasa unless it is aesthetically excited. Aesthetically excited. What do you mean by this? That is, suppose you feel that hear that your neighbor's son is dead, and the father, on seeing the dead body of the son, starts weeping uncontrollably, and he calls upon the gods, and everything is there. You are viewing this, but that is a real life situation that you will not call as rasa. I hope you understand. But the same situation is created or recreated in a drama on stage, or if it is there in a poem, the vilabam of a father at the death of a child, if it is narrated in a poem, then that emotion can be called as rasa, but not the real life situation, real life incidents. That is why it is said, no emotion is called rasa unless it is aesthetically excited. Aesthetically, the aesthetic sense, the sense of the beauty that is in you, and it is that which bring forth rasa. And why do we uh, think that rasa is something that is aesthetically excited? Sometimes when you go for a film, I am taking the example of a film, of course, because this is one common medium that you are familiar with. But if I ask you to remember a drama, I don't think that most of you will be familiar with it. So here you find that when you go to the theater, suppose there is a film, and the film ends in tragedy, you find a lot of people, really touched by that. And some people who are really emotional, they start weeping towards the end. And then you find that there is a cathartic emotion or the proper cleansing of the soul as a result of the purgation of the emotions. And that we call as rasa, because a tragedy also will be appreciated by the persons. And because it is so beautifully done, so artistically done, that you feel one with the characters and you feel for them, and rasa is created in the onlooker, that is you. Okay, so you weep over, and there is the cleansing of that emotion, and then and this is because of rasa. And suppose you are watching a comedy, you feel much for the people there and you laugh a lot, and this again is rasa. Suppose there is the question of the anger of certain people, and you are really touched by that, and there also you have the rasa, because in a film you find all these emotions are just expected from you at certain levels, and you reciprocate, and then rasa is the corresponding rasa is created in your mind. And this is because a film or the performance is something artistically excited, and so rasa is created in the mind of the audience or the onlooker or the aesthetically or a sahridaya. Sahridaya is another term which we need to explain in detail in another section. But for the moment, I'll say that if a person is not a sahridaya, if a person is not aesthetically touched, or a temperament is not aesthetic or artistic, he will not feel anything. This is just a film, something to spend the time, nothing more. He is not touched by that. We are not speaking about the such people. We are speaking about sahridaya, and this aesthetically excited emotion on stage will touch them, and a reciprocating emotion or reciprocating rasa is created. And this is why it is said that no emotion is called rasa unless it is aesthetically excited, because we are speaking about art. Okay, and art in all its senses. That is art where you have a beautiful poem, where you have a drama, and even in a novel also you will have such occasions. So it is reciprocated in the mind of the sahridaya, and it is because it is so beautifully done artistically, and so rasa is created. I hope you really understand this. This is something that you will have to keep in mind by heart, even, because no emotion is called rasa unless it is aesthetically excited. How can this be possible? That's again another question. How can this be possible? You find that there are other aestheticians, not just Abhinavagupta. You find Bhattalallada. He is another aesthetician, and he is of the opinion that Vibhava, Anubhava, and Vyabhijari are set forth by Mayam. They cooperate, and in their conjunction, rasa is created. This is the opinion of Bhattalallada. And he says that it is set forth by mime mimicking, imitating, in a way, on stage, the actors are imitating the real life situation. And so, when you have the real life situation, the Vibhava, Anubhava, and Vibhajari, all these we have seen earlier. The three samyoga, or the conjunction of which creates rasa. They are set forth by mime, by the action of the actor. They cooperate, and in their conjunction, rasa is created. So rasa is there not just in the audience, but also in the actors who are acting out the role that is given to them. Mammada, on the other hand, repudiates Bhattalallada's view. Bhattalallada is of the opinion that Vibhava, Anubhava, and Vyabhijari are set forth by mime, and they cooperate, and in their conjunction rasa is created. Mammada says that there cannot be any rasa unless there is also vibhava and the anubhava, the dominant emotions, existing in the subconscious strata of the person who are not rasa themselves. So here, uh, these dominant emotion existing in the subconscious state of the person. So unless it is not there in the person, then they cannot themselves be rasa. So there is also Vibhava and Anubhava, and he is not speaking about Vibhajari Bhava, but the dominant emotion should be there in the subconscious trait of the person. But even then, they are not themselves rasas. This is the opinion of Mamada. Shanguga, on the other hand, used the example of painting to explain the aesthetic emotion. He says that when you see the painting of a horse, you know that it is not a horse. It's not a real horse. But at the same time, it is the picture of a horse. So, of an aesthetic experience it is both real and unreal. For a person who had not seen a real horse, this picture is the one that gives him an idea about horse. So to him, it is almost real. But to a person who had seen a horse properly, the person will tell you that the dimensions of the horse is totally different. This is not how it is, but even then it is a good picture. This is how the comment goes. So, like the painted horse, like the painting, which is an aesthetic experience, painting is also art. That like that aesthetic experience is both real and at the same time it is unreal. It is not the real horse, but at the same time it is the picture of a horse. An idea is given to the onlooker. Bhattanayaga is of the opinion that Rasa is neither produced nor suggested nor created by anything. He used the terms Bhavakatva and Bhojakatva. So here you find that these two terms are indeed something that created a lot of criticism among these aestheticians. Maybe they are just trying to uh, make it clear how it should be. He used the terms Bhavagatva and Bhojagatva. Uh, Aesthetic creation generates a new spiritual creation and the special function by which we enjoy it. That is, without Bhavagatva and Bhojagatva, the aesthetic experience cannot be explained. Bhattanayaga means that Bhavagatva is something that is to be experienced by the Sahridaya, the one who has aesthetics in him, art in him, or the mind to appreciate art. Such a person, or in that person, a new spiritual creation is done by the performance. And then there is the special function by which we enjoy it. So the spiritual creation and bhavagatva, and there is the bhojakatva, special function. When you have the combination of the spiritual creation and the special function, that is bhavagatva and bhojakatva, then you find rasa. Without these, without bhavagatva and bhojagatva, the aesthetic experience cannot be explained. This is the feelings or the this is the opinion of Bhattanayaga. You find several aestheticians here listed here, one after the other. We started with Abhinavagupta and we have come across the other aestheticians who remarked on the different aspects of rasa, like Bhattalollada, Mammada, Shanguga, Bhattanayaga. All these are aestheticians who gave their own version of the rasa theory. And Abhinav Gupta's theory, he was trying to explain Bharadas Maxim, Vibhava, Anubhava, Vibhajari Samyoga, the Rasa Nispati, and what all things contribute to the creation of rasa in the mind of in the mind of a sahridaya. So we have come across that, and Bhattanayaga is of the opinion that rasa is neither produced nor suggested nor created by anything, because it is the way the sahridaya enjoys it, how it is accepted by the Sahridaya. It should be a spiritual creation and it should also be a special function. And the Bhavakatva and Bhojakatva really creates the aesthetic experience, and without these two, then you cannot explain the Rasa theory. This is the opinion of Bhattanayaga. So you find here the different opinions of these aestheticians, but they all come to the conclusion with regarding something, that is, no emotion can be regarded as rasa unless it is aesthetically produced. So aesthetically excited. So the real life situation, the life experience you have is not rasa. What you see in art, in any form of art, is that which creates rasa. That is something that you will have to remember throughout this theory of rasa. We have listed a few grammarians, that is the aestheticians. We call them as aestheticians, and they are the people who give the explanation, and at various times they have produced their own opinions regarding this Bharadas Maxim, and Abhinavagupta had clearly explained how it is done. You will find more about Bhattanayaga and Bhavagatva and Bhojagatva contradicted by the other aestheticians. Let's wait for the next class. Okay. I know that this is a little bit difficult to understand, but be patient. Go through it one after the other, the slides, because I have summarized whatever that is given in the text. If you need a detailed explanation, then you can read the text one after the other. Examples are given, more examples are given in the text itself, but at the same time, these slides will give you the essence of the theory of Resa, the first part. Okay, the next part will be in our next class. Hope you'll have a great time understanding the Resa theory and understanding the various emotions that are explained by these aestheticians. Thank you. So we'll meet you again in the next class. Thank you.